and mental health is not properly addressed in America in general. Suicide rates are at an all-time high. And personally, when I was younger, I had a lot of things happen to me, like deaths in the family. I told you about my dad not being in the picture. Mom almost died. Like, all that shit kind of happened together, and I was depressed and like contemplated suicide for some point in my time or in my life when I was like 10 or 11. And for a 10-year-old to even like think I want to end my life is like fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So like, the fact that there were no adequate resources to help me, like kind of like not even go in that direction is awful. Like, I didn't know what the suicide hotline was. I didn't know that my guidance counselor could help me with that. Like, I didn't know that I could go talk to somebody. I was scared. Like, I didn't think that anybody could help me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure a lot of people who are in that situation feel helpless. They've quit. They feel like they have no other option but to just end everything. So, especially for people of color, like, we're fucked up in this country right now. And I could definitely see someone, especially who is less privileged than me, hasn't had the blessings that I've had with Prep, with Deerfield, with Carnegie Mellon, and recently with Pitt. Like, if they don't have those things, they don't have those things to look on, and to that sense of accomplishment, and especially if they feel desperate. Like, not only are they fucked up, like mentally, but like physically, they're just gonna do what they can to survive. And that shit is a toll. It takes a toll after time. So I think that there needs to be more addressment, that's not a word. There needs to be more attention to that aspect of health, for sure.
You know, it wasn't until I sort of went outside of those borders, outside of the borders of my hometown, that I was able to realize that, you know what I mean, that like even the access is limited. Like, people don't understand, like once you're placed in a certain socioeconomic category, there are limits. We can't simply afford, you know, most of us don't even have health care, you dig? Like, to be able to go and, you know what I mean, see it, you know, a psychotherapist, like, you know what I mean, and go through the process and be able to, you know what I mean, you know, figure out solutions to these mental health issues that we might be suffering from, you know what I mean? Like, it's not even a conversation to start with, you know what I mean? So, you know, and, you know, especially if you come from spiritual homes, like, you know, a lot of my friends, you know, came from Christian homes. You know, I'm Muslim myself, so, you know, I know a lot of people coming from Muslim homes, and a lot of that, a lot of times the answer to mental health sometimes is spirituality, and that could be a solution, but we also need to take into consideration other options. Like, you know, let's open up the possibility for change, you know what I mean? Like, you have to consider it, you know.
Thinking back over my life, having experienced, gun violence when I was young, I've always I first went to therapy at a very young age, but, you know, throughout school, especially being a young kid, not being able to process, you know, a loss in the family, this whole concept of gun violence and how scary that is to a young kid. I definitely acted out in school, but looking back, I've always wondered how teachers perceive that, whether they just thought, you know, here goes another black kid who, you know, even though he's at a nice school, you know, of course he's slipping in class and stuff because that's who he is, or whether they took the time to realize the crazy emotional situation that I was in, and being in an environment that was nothing that a child should ever go through. I think having gone to therapy at like a young age and being able to like talk through my feelings and stuff definitely put me in a position where growing up I kind of understood. I was able to kind of put a finger on exactly what I was feeling and be able to help other people kind of process what they were going through. But there have definitely been days, especially I guess as I got older, I started to be more aware of the stigma of like going to therapy. So I stopped pretty much cold turkey just because I didn't want people to be like, oh, there's Michael who has to go to therapy, and it wasn't because I was crazy. It was because I just needed that kind of professional guidance to help me deal with something that a lot of grown people never even had to deal with.
Black man as the pillar of the family and the one that has to be the strongest, where a lot of time, being black and being male is a lot to deal with, and so no, we need to stop with this false premise that black men can have moments where their mental stability is challenged. To your question, yeah, multiple times. I've had moments where I've dealt with challenges to my whole mental being. I went to a predominantly white high school, and junior year, I just cracked under the pressure. It's too much pressure, and kind of had like a mini mental breakdown. And actually, it's one of those things where you're having a breakdown, but you don't want anyone else to know you're having a breakdown. And there was only one person who realized it. It was a friend of mine who, like, at the most pivotal point in the breakdown, stopped me and was like, is everything okay? And had they not noticed that, I don't know what choices I would have made.
Ah, man. You a fan of Kendrick Lamar?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, man. Like, I think one of his songs that actually like talks about that, touches on the issue very well is P&P. Yeah. So like, I was very similar. Like, it was typically how I expressed myself. Except like my poison of choice was, women and weed. So like, went through a phase where it's this. I'm always laid up with some woman. I'm always smoking. Like I went through that phase, and that was typically because I couldn't express myself. And then I've always been a writer, so like I'll just write for days. Wrote a lot of poetry. I write little short stories, and like they would, and on some level it would be a little like some of them would be a little dark because it's like, man, I got this frustration that I'm trying to express, and it was kind of just difficult to get it out because I never actually put it into regular words. So it just comes out as almost nonsensical. Like, but I know definitely women and weed.
At what point did you start to realize that wasn't like,
Probably when I was about 22. You have that little come to Jesus meeting. Except I ain't have nobody just actually bring it to my attention. I was just sitting there with myself, and I was actually just like breaking down. I was about to roll up. I was like, man, this is really all I fucking do. And I was like, nah, man, this is wet. You know what I'm saying? And I just sat it down. And I was like, man, I need to find a hobby. I need to find a hobby. And so I started making little small changes, like here and there. Like I started doing things like yoga. You always take the generic spiritual path. Start doing yoga. Meditating, reading in spare time. And then actually trying to have a conversation and trying to express myself to people. And it took some time. Like I am. Like I'm 25 now, 3 years, and I'm still a work in progress. I don't smoke anymore. I drink socially, but it's just like socially. Like I might have a beer or something, but it's nothing to repress emotion. Like, and if I got something to say, nowadays I say it. finding some way to express it in a healthy manner, you know.
Yeah.
But man, it was a very different story.